Right, good evening there, guys. I'm Patrick Gump. This is a new YouTube channel, Running Inspirations. I'm going to be coming to you with inspirational stories from a lot of my running friends, a lot of people that I just meet at events and different races. It's basically just to show the world how much running can really help you. I'm going to start off with this introduction video. I've explained what we're about, what I'm going to start doing. There'll be videos of trail running, different events, charity events, reason why people started running, how long they've been running, what it is that gets you out the door, because I know for some of you that's the hardest thing to do. But now I'm going to divert from all of that, and I'm going to tell you my story and why I started running, and hope that it inspires you to send me your videos and your video clips of your achievements, your goals, where you want to go, where you've been, and we'll go from there and we'll hopefully have a good friendship. So, right, I started running about 18 months ago. Done sports like football, take part, anything that I really could get my hands on, I'd do sport and that. But 18 months ago, I started running. The reason for me starting to run was because I had a severe accident at work. And it put me in a bad way. I had a basal fracture and it damaged the left facial nerve in my face, causing me to have bilateral palsy. I was in hospital for 4 days, came out, went back 10 days later to have my ears cleaned out from the blood. That they found out that the fracture had gone through my facial nerve, so I had to then have to have an operation at the Queen Elizabeth to reconstruct the facial nerve, because there was no sense or feeling in that left side. So pretty serious stuff for a guy that just went to work on a Monday morning and ended up getting his head squashed. So that's the start of it. So I was pretty poorly, and I weren't in a very good place. For 3 months I sat inside, wallowing in self-pity, like I was in a glass cube, that life was just passing by and there was no point, really. There was no point in anything. Okay, I survived it, but to me, I was still suffering in a black hole that just kept eating me up with frustration and guilt, if it makes sense. So that was the 3 months straight after my accident. Nothing really going for me. Just sat on the sofa on a diet of biscuits and tea, feeling sorry for myself. I got a text off an old colleague that I used to work with, saying there's a local 10k. I know you're quite fit and athletic and you've done your sports and that. Do you fancy doing it? So that was like my light at the end of a very dark tunnel. And I went, oh, okay, let's go for it. So that exact same night that he texted me, I signed up to the Clibberry 10k, and I didn't really know anything about running. I just thought if you put one foot in front of the other, you can't lose, can you? You keep going, you go somewhere. Pretty much the same as life, really, that you put one foot in the front of the other and you just keep going, moving forward. So 3 months after, I'd ran 3 runs before the Clibby 10k, so loads of training went into that one. That's another thing that we're going to hopefully touch on off a few coaches, is get some training tips, because it helps. It does help. It helps you get quicker, helps you get faster, helps you get stronger, helps you enjoy it more. But I did 3 runs before the Clibby 10k, not knowing if my body could really take the running exercise or anything, considering I'd done nothing for 3 months. And I was quite unfit, to be fair, to pretty fit and unfit and out of shape, if that makes sense. Got the old dad body going on and everything. So that's where my running journey started, really. I did the Clibby 10k and finished it under the hour in 59:38, which for me, that was one hell of achievement in itself, as well as coming out of this deep dark hole to get where I was. So we completed that. As all races, you hype yourself up for it, you go through the race nerves, you go through the race anxiety, you put everything you've got into it if you're training for a race, and you make that your race. Especially with the situation that I've been through, I push myself harder than I normally would to make up for the time lost, if you can think of it that way. So that was on July the 2nd. A couple of days after, as all things, what goes up must come back down again. A bit like a helium balloon. Once the helium's gone, it deflates. I went into a mass depression that I'd already been in for 3 months and convinced myself that I wasn't in it. And about a week after the 10k, I hit rock bottom, as low as I've ever been in my whole entire life. Before the accident, I was a confident, almost touching on cocky, arrogant young lad. Completely reversed me, and I was feeling feelings that I've never felt before and couldn't get used to. I hit a low, a rock bottom. As I said, once you hit rock bottom, you can only go up. I tried to take my life. I put a knife to my throat, which my wife took it off me with my young child, and then I just curled up in a corner and cried like a baby. I was just a broken man. I didn't know where to go, what was the point of anything. Even though I'd done the 10k, it seemed like there was still nothing going on after that. There was nothing to head towards. There was nothing really worth living for. Even though I've got a wife, 3 beautiful children, there's no explaining it. There's no reason for the irrational thought and the irrational actions that I was taking. So I sought medical help. I went to doctors. They put me on depression tablets and everything, and I think there's this massive stigma that's almost coming common with mental health, and it gets overlooked quite a lot. Because if you've got a broken arm, they can see you've got a broken arm. If you've got a broken leg, they can see you've got a broken leg. It's like this stigma about being disabled. Just because somebody's got a disabled sticker in their car and they get out and walk fine does not mean they're not disabled in some way, shape or form. I just wanted to touch on that because it's quite close to my heart, and it quite knocks me that some people with mental health issues get branded liars, or they feel themselves as if they're a liar, which is very untrue. It's just the way the mind works. I mean, there is a point to me talking about mental health, is because that's the reason that I started running. I took the medication, I'm still on the medication, and I became a bit of a recluse, wanted to stay in the house all the time, didn't want to go out, fear of anything happening to me. I was like, I wanted to be wrapped up in bubble wrap and not go anywhere, because I had this hypersensitive feeling, bit like if you ever watched, what's the name of the film now, Final Destination. It felt like death was chasing me, and at any opportunity it was going to kill me. It was like a black shadow that hung over my head and still does. It's just now I've got coping mechanisms and things in place to try and deal with those situations when they arise. But back onto the running front, this is the reason that I run, because I believe that running was my saviour, that I could go out and run off the frustration, I could run off the emotions that I was feeling, that I gave myself a purpose. I gave myself daily goals of getting out the door to just, even if it was just for a mile, just down the road, or race. The first couple of runs that I did was my wife would take the children in the car and I would race them to school. I'm now invested in a bike that I've got a trailer on the back that I'll show you a couple of videos later on, that they've got the kids on the back and I take them to school. But exercise and running, for me, running is the main reason I get up every day. I know it sounds a bit pathetic that you just live for running, but I don't just live for running, it helps me function. To which the occupational therapist said a couple of days ago that I had to cut my mileage down because of fatigue, because of having a brain injury. Fatigue is one of the main signs of it. But that almost broke my heart. That was like, oh, so what am I supposed to do now? Then again, I spoke to a doctor. It was just a case of managing fatigue. So I'll run later of a night, or I'll run on days where I'm not doing as much in the morning, or I'll run for cake to give me a pick-me-up, which we do with our local club. I also joined a running club, Club in Mortimer Running Club. They've been fantastic. The support you get from them is unreal. It's like having a second family. So, as I was saying, Club in Mortimer Running Club, like a second family to me. They've helped me build my social surroundings again. The barriers that I kind of put up and lost faith in people through neglect has been restored, so they've helped in that as well. They've also got some great coaches there that I'm hoping that they'll speak to me and share some of their knowledge with you for training tips and such, which will help out on this this channel as well. So that's my story. That's pretty much sums it up. I'm now looking at doing 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, ultra marathons, marathons first. But last year was 10Ks. This year has been half marathons. I'm looking to do 5 this year. I've completed 1 already. I've entered the ballot for London Marathon next year. Fingers crossed for that one. Hope we get in there. If not, I've looked at Dublin around October time, but those are my goals for next year and the years to come. I should build them up, but daily I try and get out and do 3 miles. It's been great talking to you guys. It's a weight off my chest sharing my story again with you. I hope it's inspired you, and I hope you put a pair of trainers on and go and enjoy what's out there. Enjoy the outdoors. Have a good evening and enjoy the sunshine while it's out. Thank you very much. I'm Patrick Gump. Over and out.